everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the Pythagorean theorem and the so-called TOA. So, Pythagorean theorem is a fundamental concept in geometry that describes the relationship between the three sides of a right-angled triangle. It states that the square of the length of the hypotenuse, if the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, which is the opposite and the adjacent. In mathematical terms, if a right-angled triangle has sides of length E and B, our A is this one and this one is our B, and the hypotenuse is always our C. So, E and B are the lengths of the two shorter sides or the legs, while the C is the length of the longest side opposite the right angle, which means the hypotenuse. So today, let's make an example. So, let's say we have a right-angled triangle where one leg is 3 units long, and the other leg is 4 units long. What is the length of the hypotenuse? So, since the hypotenuse is no value, so let's try to answer this one. Our formula is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So, after we write the formula, let's substitute the known values. So, it means that the two short leg kay need na to siya i-change ang ato ang variable into constant. So 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to c squared. So let's calculate the squares. 3 squared, 3 times 3 is equals to 9 plus 4 squared is 16 is equal to c squared. In order to get the answer, let's add the two. So 9 plus 16 is 25. 25 is equal to c squared. Yeah, right. Take the square root of both two sides in order to get the c squared. So, c squared is equal to square root of 25. In order to get the hypotenuse, we need to get the answer of the 25 square root. So, c is equal to 5. This is our hypotenuse. Since our example is all about finding a hypotenuse, let's try to make a new example to finding a leg or a shorter or not the hypotenuse. So erase this all written. So a right-angled triangle where the hypotenuse is 10 units. So let's write 10. And one of the leg is 6 units long. 6 units long. So, how long is the other leg? Kini na sana itong pangitag answer. So, write down the formulas. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Substitute the known values. Remember, C is always the hypotenuse. So, since walay value ang atong opposite, the hypotenuse, adjacent, and the opposite. Since wala siya value, so ang atong i-write is the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So, 6 squared plus b squared is equal to 10 squared. So, calculate the squares. In order to get the answer, 36 plus b squared equals 100. So, 6 times 6 is 36 plus b squared equals to 100. And isolate b squared by subtracting 36 from both sides. B squared from both sides man daw. So, okay rag inani ang pamagi. B squared equals 100 minus 36. So, nana siya. Kay dili man na hypotenuse atong gipangita. Ang one short leg man. So, calculate the difference. B squared is equal to 100 minus 36 is 64. So, di ba nakuha na itong answer? And then, dili pag ni siya mao ang ato ang final answer diri ang leg since dako pa man siya sa 10. So, take the square root of both sides. Right na sad ka. B squared equals the square root of 64. So, wala pa man kita ako as answer. Pila may square root of 64. So, atong answer is 8. B squared is equal to 8 units. So, mao na ang atong answer sa opposite. Ana. Mana? Nanara siya. And now, let's move on to TOA. TOA is a mnemonic device used in trigonometry to remember the definitions of the three basic trigonometric ratios, which means the sine, cosine, and tangent. That one. So stands for sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And the tangent is equal to opposite over the adjacent. So, di ba? Mailhan na nato. Kung so, sine is equal to opposite and hypotenuse. And ka is a cosine, adjacent, and hypotenuse. And TOA, tangent, equals opposite and adjacent. So, today, for now, we can draw a figure here. Always remember that the opposite side is across the angle and do not touch the angle. The opposite side, this one. This side is the opposite, which means they do not touch the angle. And adjacent is the side beside the angle, which touches the angle, while the hypotenuse is the longest side. So, touches the angle man down. So, let's put it there, here, adjacent, and the hypotenuse. So, dali raman siya masabtan kay if longer leg siya, mao na siyang hypotenuse, while the two short leg is the adjacent and opposite. Para mailhan na to, kung asang nagkailay sa opposite o sa adjacent, ang opposite is always the opposite of the angle. So, we have an example here. Our example have a 45 degree and the adjacent is 8. So, let's say angle 45 degree and adjacent side 8, then we will find the opposite side. So, by using TOA, since opposite and adjacent anong ipakita, we will use TOA, which means tangent equals opposite over adjacent. So, by using TOA as follows, tan is equal to opposite and adjacent. Nana siya, and then need na to siya i-change ang iyahang into numbers, yung words. So, tan is 45 degree equals to opposite, kay wala man siya value, over 8 since atong adjacent is 8. So, as we know from the unit circle that tan 45 degree is equal to 1. Diba? Sa unit circle lang, 45 degree is equal to 1. Since our square root of 2 is equal to 1. So we will now have a 1 equals opposite over 8. Nanara siya, diba? And again, we will multiply each side by 8. So 1 multiplied by 8 is equal to 8. 8 and opposite divided by 8. So, di ba, nana na to equation nga makita, no? Kay need man nato siya i-multiply each side. And then, cancel this one, we need to cancel. And 1 times 8 is 8 equals copy the opposite. So, mga na ang atong answer, which is our opposite is the value of 8. Muna siya to answer. Diba? Nanana siya ka sa yun if makasabot lang ta sa atong reviewhan or atong i-discuss. So, that's all. Thank you. So, I am Cristana Ines from Basic Math 1B. That's all.